Hi and welcome to my channel. I am hoping that today's update isn't too all over the place. I'm feeling a little bit all over the place because I have a lot to show. Happy holiday season to everyone. Hanukkah, Christmas, winter solstice, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I hope it's happy, healthy, and good. So I have been doing quite a bit of stitching, even though it doesn't really show, because instead of working on a bunch of whips, I've been kind of focused. I think I'll start out with, and I have a list of notes, but even my notes are jumbly, so we're just going to wing it as I usually do. And my main focus in stitching this past couple of weeks has been Nora Corbet's Christmas Eve Couriers, and this is Rudolph. And I figured I would start with Rudolph because he guided the sleigh. And with all the snow that's happening in this world right now, we can't do without Rudolph. And I want to thank Joanne. She is the moderator on the Nora Corbet Christmas Eve Couriers Facebook group, which I will link below. I had shown my start in Stitch Mania, and Joanne saw it and very kindly let me know that there was a Sal group for it, and I've been enjoying that. And you should see, there's some finishes there that are beautiful. So if you like to work on these Christmas Eve Couriers, I'll try to remember to link that Facebook group below. And I dyed my own fabric, and I'm pretty much using the called for floss, although it calls for white whisper thread, and I only had antique white, so I used antique. And I also used beads that I had, and those of you who watched my bead stash video, you know I have a lot of beads. Right now, the gold beads that I have put in the piece right now, I'm also using in my Dragons of Sumatra, which Mary Rose kindly mentioned me in her video, and it was wonderful. It really touched my heart. So hi Mary Rose, and thank you very much again. I'm glad that you enjoy my dragons piece. My lighting today might be a little off. It's very overcast. We had a lot of snow on Saturday. Well, I say a lot. For here, it's not really a lot. We had maybe 4 inches of snow, and we're supposed to get more snow this week. So Merry Christmas. Let me see if I can get them up to where you can see them. I didn't really leave myself enough border because I actually wound up stitching him bigger than I expected. And I've only started the beading. This boy has a lot of beading, and I'm not going to be able to fit him in full length, but all the cross stitching is done. And I have started beading, and I have beaded all around the border. And these are not the called for beads. These are some, and I don't know if it'll focus, but those are some glass gold beads, and then there are some gold beads. And I alternated those in the border, and then I'm using the solid gold beads for the bordering, the main bordering. And there's the antique white whisper thread in his tail. And I may change up some of the beads that are in the wreath around his neck, the greenery, simply because I'm not buying beads, extra beads for the project. And let's see, for the so let me show you some of the beads that the crystals that I may use in place of some of the called for crystals. And I'm sorry for the shaking. That's Wally running back and forth. And now Rowdy's gonna run back and forth too, so. House with dogs, full of love, but also full of chaos. So anyway, some of the crystals that I have, and I'm not using all of these, I'm just showing what I have. And the light's not going to do them justice. My camera's probably not going to do them justice, but these are predominantly crystals in here. So I will use some of these maybe. That's what the box looks like. Sorry for the glare. And then I do have drop beads, and most of these I bought at joggles.com. I'll show you the cracked side of the case, but it's going to show you the beads the best. So I do have some drop beads. Now these are not cut. These are smooth beads, but that's okay. They are still pretty. And I'll show you. These are Precocia Gold size 11 check beads, and those are the gold ones that I'm using for the main part of him. And then I also, let's see if I have them in here. I may have I put the other ones back in the Dragons of Sumatra. Wally has his toy. Wally, some dogs are toy dogs and some dogs are not toy dogs, and Wally, my friend, is a toy dog, and right now he wants me to play with his toy. Hear him growl? He's a talking dog too. He talks. I love him. He is one of the most fun dogs. But he's needy. Needy. So anyway, that was Rudolph. And he's not done. He's a work in progress. I am hoping to have him done, excuse me, by the end of the month. So another project I started, and this was thanks to Sara of Little Snips fame, because she, in her last video I watched, she talked about the 100 Days of Hade. And there's a YouTuber whose name is Porsche Parker, who I'd never seen before. So now I'm subscribed to Porsche's channel too. So hi Sara. And I don't know that Porsche watches my videos, but if she does, hello Porsche. But she had said how people, she's on the Hade group, Facebook group, on the official Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group, which I will also try to link below. And she was saying in her video that a short video, that people are always saying how they never make any progress, that these projects are big and they can never seem to get anything done. So she issued a challenge that you have an option of joining, and it's an Instagram hashtag, and it's called 100 Days of Hade. 100. Hashtag 100 Days of Hade, all one word. Where every day for 100 days you can work on a Heaven and Earth design, any one that you choose, and it could be multiple ones if you so desire, and post a picture to Instagram and just see how much you get done in 100 days by actually paying attention to what you're doing, I guess. Now I'm bad because I don't really count my stitches. I have been posting it. This is day 4. So the first 3 days of Hade, first 3 days of 100 Days of Hade, I've been working on, is it Lisa Parker? Hang on, let me see who the artist is. Yes, Lisa Parker. I've been working on Lisa Parker's Witching Hour. And I posted a pic, so for 3 days I've been posting pictures. And I have to say, I can see the difference. And let me just show you what my piece looks like now, after 3 days. And you'll see that I went back to a hoop, because I found that when I was trying to do this in hand this time, that I kept getting lost, because I've been doing some cross-country stitching. So I put it back in a hoop, because this is an ornament size. And I'll tell you, this has made a big difference for me. And I'll show you my needle minder because it's new. I received this in a recent order, and it's just a picture. Let me move that pin. Well, now my needle flipped in. So yes, my needle minder is working. But there's the needle minder, and I ordered that from Heaven and Earth Designs. Which, no, I wasn't good. Some days I just need my head examined. But I went out and I ordered some charts, so I'll show you all that in my stash supplementation. And you just heard, it's very cold here, and my furnace just kicked in. So bear with me. So, was that all that I've been doing? No, that's not all that I've been doing. Besides that, I will link Porsche Parker's video in the description box below in case you'd like to pick up on the 100 Days of Hate Challenge, which I think is going to work really well. And it will fit right in with Full Coverage Fanatics. So, and then I had bought some software not too long ago, just a hobbyist, not professional, to do cross stitch charts, because at one point I thought that I would want to make a like family sampler, and I thought that that would help, so I wouldn't have to physically draw it out. I could, click the pixels and create. Well, what I wound up doing this past week was I was looking through some old photos, and I came across a picture of my cat Jabar. And if I can get the picture to fit here, because it may be too big, I will insert it here. So this is Jabar. He's passed on. He was a really good cat. He belonged to friends of my father. And then my father took him. And my father loved Jabar. He had 3 cats at the time. He had Kareem, he had Abdul, and he had Jabar. Now Kareem and Abdul had passed on, but when my father moved down to Texas in like 2001 or so, he didn't want to take his cat. So I took Jabar here. And Jabar lived with me, and he was a wonderful cat, wonderful, wonderful cat. And I had gone on a retreat. And Jabar was like, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 years old by the time. And I'd gone on a retreat. It wasn't a stitching retreat, it was actually a women's Christian retreat. And if you know, like Joyce Myers and that type of thing, it was that type of retreat. It was really phenomenal. I was gone for 2 days. It was peaceful, and he passed with me, so it was all good. But he's forever in my heart, and I found this picture, and I decided that I was going to try to immortalize him in a cross-stitch piece for myself. So, with my software, I focused the picture in on his eyes and his nose. And that's Jabar, and he has bright green eyes, and he was a gray and white cat, and his nose is pink, and he had pink feet. He was a gorgeous boy. He was a tall cat, very thin, long tail, gorgeous cat. Anyway, enough of that. I started stitching my chart last night. I have a pink mark on it just because I was marking the bottom of where this chart falls, because I'm just doing it on a scrap. But anyway, that's 2 over 1, and I wish I'd done 1 over 1. But that's the start of Jabar. And it's my own chart, my own picture, and I think it's going to be fabulous. So hopefully I got the picture to fit, and you saw the picture of Jabar, because he was a beautiful boy. Now, kind of like Hade, you can put however many colors to make more detail. I did not want to go to 90 colors to try my cat's face. If it comes out really good and I want more detail, I may try, but this chart has 25 colors in it. And black is not one of those colors. There is no black in this chart. There's no 3371 either. It's a lot of, it's pewter and pink and avocado green. There's even navy blue and very light blue. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this comes out, and I can't wait to finish it. So that's the stitching that I've done, and I have so much I want to do, but I don't think I'm going to get to much more than what I'm hoping to finish. But I would show you, here's something that I bought. Now I guess I'm getting into stash supplementation. Some charts that I bought, a couple magazines, some dye, that kind of thing. But I was on Amazon and I was looking for, like I say, they look like little bottle brushes that you use to kind of clean between your teeth, because my dentist had suggested that I might want to try those. So I was looking to see if I could just order them on Amazon and have them delivered, and I did. And I don't have any bridges, but I saw these things. These are Bridge Aid. And let me take one out of here so you can see what it looks like. It's not helping much, is it? There it is. That's what it looks like. And it's made of plastic. And I find that it is a little bit on the brittle side. And I only have a kind of small needle that I dropped. But what I got it for was to help me thread needles. And sometimes if the thread is thick, it will break. But they weren't that expensive, and they do work. And on the bigger size eyes, like a 22, they work really well for even for thicker threads. So that was a good find. So now I have a whole bottle of needle threaders. And also, and I can't remember who it was, so I'm sorry, and they were mentioning it because they'd seen it on someone else's video. So I can't even relate it back to a previous video. But I was having problems where my threads on my bobbins were getting out of control. And somebody recommended small hair bands to help contain the tail ends of floss. And that was a great idea. And like most things, I went overboard on those rubber band weaving things. I bought them for my grandchildren, and then I have all kinds of extra bands in various colors. You can see they come with those little S-clamps that after you weave them, it will help you close your bracelet and stuff. So anyway, I've been using those, and as I use my bobbins before I put them away, I've been capturing the tails and controlling my chaos in my thread box. Oh, and Rudolph, I am putting his gold beads on with the matching gold mono thread, which is a breeze to work with, and those needle threaders work really well with that. Oh, and I had these little crystals out because these are some green crystals, and I'm thinking about trading some of the champagne rose crystals for some green crystals on Rudolph. And these are just, plastic, like medicine cups that you can buy, probably on Amazon. Let's see, what else? Well, some of the other things I bought, I talked about having an earth design, so I will go back to that. And I bought a second needle minder, and those are cardinals. Because if you watch my videos, you know that I love cardinals. And I think that is a beautiful needle minder. I don't have this chart. I don't know which chart that is, but I bought it for the cardinals. And At the time that I did that, I also bought some John James. I think I just bought one of these. I think I bought the other one at 123 Stitch. But I bought the 26 petites, and I also bought 22 petites because I find that I'm using larger floss sizes, like in needlepoint and for some embroidery. So those are coming in handy. I will also show you that I bought, Joann's always has these embroidery cones, floss cones, on sale. So I do a lot that has a ton of 3371 in it. So I bought a cone of 3371. I bought a cone of the black. And I also bought a cone of the blanc. And I just wanted to show you this too, because I've already used some of the blanc. And there's one of those needle threaders, and there's a rubber band, so I'm containing the end of the floss that I've cut under here, and then I'm just storing the piece of floss in the eye of the needle threader, and it's being held by that rubber band. So I didn't use all 6 strands, so that's how I am containing my cone without having to put the floss on a bobbin. And I am keeping these plastic bags that the cones came in. I just put it on upside down and tuck the open end up into the cone, and it sits just fine on my table. Oh, also at Heaven and Earth Designs, I'm sure most everybody's seen these now, the 2017 DMC embroidery thread collection. I did order this from Heaven and Earth Designs. They had it for $24. It's the whole collection. I didn't get the tin. I don't really need the tin. I have tins coming out my ears that I don't really use. So, yeah, beautiful colors. If you want to see, I think Heaven and Earth shows them on their website if you want to go take a look at that. So that was a good purchase. Now I got the cones at Joann's, and this was a sale they had. So I was looking for some dye because when I dyed Rudolph's fabric, I'll show that to you again. I really love the way it came out. And this is, I dyed it in a plastic bag. I heated it in the microwave, and then I washed and dried it in my washer and my dryer. And that is how that came out. And it's denim, and I'm not sure what else. But I didn't have that many colors. And I had gone to the RIT site, and I was looking at their mixing tables to see what colors you put together to make certain colors. And of course, like I said, I didn't have that many colors. That might be pearl gray too. Not sure. Anyway, so I bought myself some new RIT dye. I bought, of course, Kelly Green. I already have a pearl gray, but I bought another pearl gray because I love it. This royal blue is used in a lot of their mixings, so I got a package of royal blue. I got 2 boxes of, oops, dropped it, of black. I got 1 sunshine orange because that's used in a lot of their mixing. And I also bought a navy blue. So you can see I like dark colors, but it all depends on how long you leave it in, how hot you get it to set it, and how you use it, I guess. I mean, you could use it, this is the powder, so I can use it in ice dyeing if I want. Anyway, enough of that. I'm looking forward to dyeing some fabric. So I also got my most recent issue of Just Cross Stitch. I get the electronic issue, so I can't really show it to you. And I had kind of decided that I wasn't impressed with Just Cross Stitch anymore. That I'd look through the electronic thing. I'd look through it quick, and I didn't really see much that caught my eye. Of course, it could also be I just skimmed through, because now I got to go back and look. But I printed out the page where they show some of the projects that are in the issue, because they actually have a couple of full coverage pieces. Now I think that the Fairy Bear might be, is it Leslie Tier? I'm not sure now. But they had this full coverage, which goes past the border, which I think is very, is it that one that goes past the border? No, it's not that one that goes past the border. It's this one. And this is what made me slow down and look at this magazine, because it has this barn and birch trees in the snow, and it is absolutely beautiful. And you can see it has sleigh samplers and other samplers. And I was just really captivated by a lot of these things. They're just beautiful. So Just Cross Stitch kind of got a renewal in my mind. And here on page 64, it shows this cinnamon holder. And I've been looking for a small project to do, and I like cinnamon sticks. So I actually printed out the project. And I am going to stitch that up, I think. And it does give you the finishing pattern. I'm just showing you the back of the page. It prints much better, but the chart's also on that page. It's by Judy Ignasiak, and I really like it. So Just Cross Stitch. This is February's issue. I don't know if it's out on the newsstand yet. The electronic version just came last week. Another magazine that I just ordered that, okay, I reached 27 minutes. I'm back. I was just saying, another magazine that I just ordered that is a magazine that I used to get a lot, and it's Teddy Bear and Friends, and this was just my receipt. Teddy Bear and Friends. That's a fun magazine because I like to make teddy bears too, in all shapes and sizes. One teddy bear that I made was just a little one, and I made him, and part of him I used one of my husband's small, kind of, very small, like gold and black check flannel shirts, and I named him Theodore R. Bear, because my late husband's name was Theodore Reynolds Bell. So that was Theodore R. Bear, and I donated him to an auction for the Ronald McDonald Charities in honor of my husband. So he helped to raise some money for some families so they could stay by their children who were in the hospital. So anyway, I like making teddy bears. And I also wanted to mention that Brittany of Ingleside Imaginarium, Brittany Church, she's got her new sale up in her Etsy shop, and this is the frame for it. So I bought that. It's going to be Guardians of Notre Dame, and I absolutely love to go to New York City, and a typical tourist stance, but I usually am looking up because the statues on those buildings are amazing. And if you've never looked up and seen the gargoyles, and Brittany goes into all the different names for them on the buildings, on some of the buildings in New York City, you should, because they're amazing. And I have spent lots of time, and I would never not look up when I was in New York City, because the architecture and the detailing is not to be missed. And it's not something people talk about all the time, about going to New York City. Okay, so someday I am going to show you all of my full coverage charts. I am 3/4 of the way to 59, which means next year will be my last year in that half-century decade. And I keep buying full coverage charts, but I like them. And I saw this on the Haid Facebook group, I think. And it's called Mini Manhattan Wonderland. And it's by Jane Wooster Scott. And this is the mini size. But look at that. That is quintessential vintage New York. And I love Victorian. I love medieval. I'm not so much a country style person, but I love Victorian and medieval styles, Baroque. It's all fun to me. So of course, while I was on the Haid website ordering my needle minders and my Manhattan Wonderland chart, I saw charts by Linda Ravenscroft, and there's still a couple more I want to get, but for this time I got Morgan Le Fay. Isn't she just too cool? And I got her brother Merlin. There isn't a Guinevere. There's an Arthur. I think there's a Lancelot. And I'm not sure who else, if there's others. But I intend to get more. I just have to start them. But they are minis, I think. No, they're quick stitches. Morgan Le Fay and Merlin are quick stitch. So they shouldn't be too bad. Even though there's lots of pages. But I always buy the large print charts for download because I like to be able to see them. And then, because I am a super glutton for punishment, I saw this, I don't know if it was Full Coverage Fanatics or where I was looking. Gotta love all the Facebook groups. I had to go to Tilton Crafts and buy Hocus Pocus. So this is off Tilton Crafts. It's the Three Sisters from Hocus Pocus, and this is a big one. It's 325 by 428, so it's a full-size chart, but I couldn't not get it. So I'm looking forward to starting that. It'll go great with my Jack Skellington chart. And let's see, what else? Oh, someone asked me what I do with all the beads. And I do a lot of things besides cross stitch and stitching stuff. My art dolls have a lot of beads in them usually, and I'm wearing my scarf today, and I have, let me stand up, I have a scarf pin on it holding the tails that I've wound together, and on there I've got some little crystals in the stick. But I made this, I'm trying to see because I think the mail person's coming. But anyway, so I made this for my scarf, and it's 2 pieces, and you just kind of put the scarf up in there and then put the stick through, which of course now I'm not going to be able to, so I'll just take it off. So that's my scarf. Let me pause. So I'm just doing this and hopefully can fit this in somewhere. I did have a request by I think a new subscriber who asked if I could flip through Stony Creek magazine. So I'll go through this annual gift issue in a separate video when I get a chance. And primitive needle and primitive stitcher, punch needle and primitive stitcher. I was looking through this, and of course you can see I have an assortment of tags out there of things that I'd like to do. but I haven't started it, and I've had this here for a while. But there's this Natal 2017 in this issue, which I think is beautiful. And it is designed by Julia Manfredini of Giulia Punti Antichi. So I'm going to do this on a 28 count antique white even weave. And the two colors that I picked are Weeks Dye Works, and this one is Holiday Collection, Indian Summer, and this one just says Floss Collections, and it's moss. So anyway, that's another item that I was thinking that I really wanted to start, and that's in the 2017 Christmas Winter Mega issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. So that's a plan I have. I'm also hoping to put together some additional plans for 2018. I am participating in the Stitch by Numbers on the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group, where you try to put 1,200 stitches in a full coverage piece every month. I think that'll help a lot. And I'm still planning on using my garden shed, aka garden party, which is a full-size Haid. I think it's the first one I ever started. So it's time to get past, to make a first page even. So anyway. Okay, I'm back. People came home, and I just tried to start this again, and I don't think it started recording. So I'm going to retake this. I wanted to say that I did finish this Thanksgiving pattern. I showed it in one of my last videos. It's the Lizzie Kate Quick Get Sampling Thanksgiving, and it's the turkey and the alphabet. It's just a little small one. It's 53 stitches wide by 53 stitches high. And if you're interested in this, I'm giving it away to a subscriber, hopefully. So please subscribe. I'll ship it anywhere. Just comment below. We'll go backwards, and you can just tell me what your favorite Thanksgiving pie was. And yeah. And Michelle Collins, please email me, kellybellstitches@gmail.com, because I still haven't gotten an email from you. So I hope that everyone has a happy and healthy week, that you're not too buried in snow if you are not used to having snow, and that you have lots of time to stitch. So bye for now. Thanks for watching.